Would you forgive your best friend if they catfished you for 3 years as your online boyfriend? The notification sound was the same as always. That little chime that meant Alex had sent me a message. I'd heard it thousands of times over the past 3 years. Morning texts, goodnight messages, random memes in the middle of the day, long voice notes when one of us needed a vent. I was sitting in my living room when it came through. Thursday night, around 9 p.m. I'd just gotten home from dinner with Jordan, my best friend since high school. We'd been at our usual spot, this Thai place we'd been going to for years, talking about nothing and everything the way we always did. My phone lit up with Alex's name and I smiled without thinking about it. That automatic response I developed over 3 years of long-distance dating. 3 years of falling asleep on video calls. 3 years of planning a future together, even though we'd never actually met in person. The message said, "I need to tell you something. Can we video call?" My stomach had dropped immediately, because in 3 years, Alex had never said anything like that, never sounded that serious, never requested a video call with that kind of urgency. I texted back, "Of course, give me 5 minutes." I'd cleaned up quickly, checked my hair in the bathroom mirror, stupid considering the situation clearly wasn't about how I looked, and sat down on my couch with my laptop, heart pounding for reasons I couldn't quite explain. The call connected. Alex's face filled my screen, the same face I'd been looking at for 3 years. Dark hair, bright eyes, that smile that had made me fall in love through a screen. Except tonight, no smile. Just this expression I'd never seen before. Guilt, fear, something that made my chest tighten. "Hey," I said, "you okay? You're scaring me." "I need to tell you something," Alex had repeated, "and I need you to let me say all of it before you react. Can you do that?" I'd nodded, muted my mic so Alex wouldn't hear how my breathing had changed. "The person you're looking at right now," Alex had started, voice shaking, "isn't real. I mean, they are real, but they're not me. I've been using someone else's photos and videos for 3 years. I've been lying to you about who I am." The words hit me like physical blows. I'd unmuted immediately. "What?" "Please, let me finish. I know I don't deserve that, but please." I'd closed my mouth, gripped my laptop so hard my knuckles turned white. "My name isn't Alex. Well, it is, but everything else, the photos, the videos, the face you're looking at, it's not mine. I found pictures of someone online, and I used them to create a profile on that gaming forum where we met. I never meant for it to go this far. I never meant to fall in love with you, but I did. And then I was in too deep, and I didn't know how to tell you without losing you." "Who are you?" My voice had come out strangled. "Show me your real face." "I can't do this over video. I need to tell you in person. I need you to see me, but I need to explain first, face to face." "You've been lying to me for 3 years, and you can't even show me your real face right now?" "I will. I promise I will. Tomorrow. Can you meet me tomorrow at our Thai place, the one you always talk about?" Our Thai place, the one I always talked about, the one Jordan and I had literally been to 3 hours ago. Something clicked in my brain, a pattern I'd been too close to see. "How do you know about that place?" I asked slowly. "I never told you the name. I just said my favorite Thai place." Silence on the other end. "How do you know which one I mean?" You've mentioned it before. You've talked about it." "No, I haven't. I've talked about going out for Thai food. I've never told you the specific restaurant, so how do you know which one I mean?" More silence, and in that silence, my brain had started making connections I'd been too stupid to see for 3 years. Alex always seemed to know things about my life without me explaining them. Knew when I'd had a bad day before I mentioned it. Knew details about my friends and family that I swore I'd never shared. Knew my schedule, my routines, my habits. "You know me," I said, my voice barely a whisper.
Yes. Who are you? The screen went black. Alex had ended the call. I'd sat there staring at my blank laptop screen, trying to make sense of what had just happened. Someone I'd been in love with for 3 years wasn't who they'd claimed to be. Someone who knew me in real life had been pretending to be someone else online. Someone had been playing an elaborate game with my emotions for 3 years. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. It's me, the real me. Please meet me tomorrow at the Thai place, 2 p.m. I'll explain everything. I'll show you who I am. I know I hate you right now, but please give me a chance to explain. I love you. That part was never a lie. I'd stared at that message for probably 20 minutes. Then I'd done what I should have done immediately. I'd called Jordan. Hey, what's up? Jordan had answered on the second ring. Miss me already? Can you come over? Something happened. Something really fucked up. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Jordan showed up in 8, came through my door with concern written all over that familiar face, and I told the story. The video call, the confession, the catfishing, the realization that whoever Alex was, they knew me in real life. Holy shit, Jordan had said when I'd finished. That's insane. Are you okay? I don't know. I don't know how to process this. 3 years, Jordan. 3 fucking years of my life. Are you going to meet them tomorrow? I don't know. Part of me wants to know who they are. Part of me wants to never think about this again. If you go, I'm coming with you. You're not meeting some catfish psycho alone. I agreed. Obviously, I agreed, because Jordan was my best friend, my safe person, the one constant in my life who'd never lied to me or pretended to be someone else. We stayed up until 2 a.m. dissecting every conversation I'd had with Alex, looking for clues. Jordan was amazing, supportive, angry on my behalf, helping me make sense of the senseless. When Jordan had finally left, I laid in bed, unable to sleep, staring at my ceiling, running through all possible scenarios of who Alex could be. A coworker who'd heard me talk about my life, a neighbor who'd observed my routines, someone from my gym, a random stalker who's somehow gotten obsessed with me. The thought that someone had been watching me, learning about me, using that information to create an elaborate fake relationship, it made my skin crawl. I'd finally fallen asleep at 4 a.m. and woke up at noon to 17 messages from the unknown number, all variations of, please come, please let me explain, I know I don't deserve it, but please. At 1:30 p.m., Jordan picked me up. We drove to the Thai restaurant in silence, my leg bouncing anxiously the entire way. You ready for this? Jordan asked as we pulled into the parking lot. No, but let's get it over with. We walked in together. The restaurant was moderately busy, lunch rush mostly over, early dinner crowd not yet arrived. I scanned the room looking for, I didn't even know what. Someone suspicious? Someone staring at me? Table for 2? The host asked. Actually, we're meeting someone. Can we just wait here for a minute? 2 p.m. came and went. No one approached us. No one waved. No one looked like they were waiting for someone. At 2:15, my phone buzzed. I'm here. I've been here since 1:30. I'm at the corner table. Please don't leave. I looked at the corner table. There was only one person sitting there. Jordan. Except Jordan was standing right next to me. I turned slowly to look at my best friend, at the person who'd been by my side for 8 years, at the person who just drove me to this restaurant to confront my catfish. Jordan's face had gone white. I can explain. You? The word had come out like a gasp. You're Alex?
The restaurant had suddenly felt too small, too crowded, too loud. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't process what was happening. Jordan, my best friend Jordan, was Alex, had been Alex, for 3 years. We need to talk outside, Jordan had said quietly, reaching for my arm. I jerked away like the touch burned. Don't fucking touch me. People were starting to stare.
The host looked concerned. Jordan's face was doing something I'd never seen before, crumpling, breaking, falling apart in real time. "Please," Jordan had whispered, "let me explain. Not here, outside." I'd walked out because I couldn't stand there anymore, couldn't breathe in that space where Jordan and I had eaten dinner hundreds of times, where we'd celebrated birthdays and breakups and promotions, where 3 hours ago we'd been laughing about something stupid. The parking lot was sunny and wrong. Everything felt wrong. "Talk," I'd said, standing by Jordan's car, arms crossed, trying to keep myself from shaking. "You have 5 minutes to explain why you've been catfishing me for 3 years." It started as a joke, Jordan had begun, and I'd actually laughed, a harsh, ugly sound. "A joke? You think this is funny?" "No, I mean, it started that way. 4 years ago, remember when you were on that gaming forum? You'd just broken up with Chris, and you were lonely, and you were spending all this time online. I made a fake account just to, I don't know, check on you, make sure you were okay, make sure nobody was being creepy to you." "By being creepy to me yourself?" "I know how it sounds, I know, but I was worried about you. You were talking to strangers online, and I wanted to make sure you were safe." "So you created a fake person and started messaging me?" "Yes, but it was supposed to be temporary, just to keep an eye on you. But then we started actually talking, and you seemed to really like Alex, and I thought maybe I could help you. Be a friend, even if you didn't know it was me." "A friend doesn't pretend to be someone else. A friend doesn't lie for 3 years." "I know," Jordan's voice had cracked. "I know, okay? I know it was wrong. But then you started having feelings for Alex, and I didn't know how to stop without hurting you. And then I realized I had feelings for you too. Real feelings. Not as Jordan, but as Alex. Or maybe they were always there, and I never let myself think about it, because you're my best friend, and I couldn't lose you. But then Chris broke your heart, and you were so sad, and I wanted to make you happy. And Alex made you happy, so I kept being Alex. You watched me fall in love with a fake person. You had video calls with me. How the fuck did you even do video calls?" "Deepfake software. I found a model online, someone who does stock photos, and I used AI to map their face and voice in real time. The technology got really good in the last few years, good enough that you never noticed." The technical explanation made it somehow worse. This hadn't been spontaneous or impulsive. This had required planning, software, deliberate, sustained deception. "All those times we hung out as friends, and then you went home and had video calls with me as Alex. All those times I talked to you about my relationship problems with Alex. You were literally both people in the conversation. I know how fucked up it is." "Do you? Because I don't think you do. I don't think you understand what you've done." "I fell in love with you," Jordan had shouted, and several people in the parking lot had turned to look. "I fell in love with you, and I didn't know how to tell you. I thought if you knew the real me, if you knew Jordan had those feelings, you'd reject me and I'd lose you completely. At least as Alex, I had part of you. At least as Alex, you loved me back." "I don't love you. I love Alex, and Alex doesn't exist. Alex is me. Everything we talked about, everything we shared, that was all real. The only thing that wasn't real was the face. The face and the name and the entire person. You created a fictional character and made me fall in love with them. That's not a relationship, Jordan. That's manipulation. It was real to me." "Well, it wasn't real to me." I'd been yelling now, didn't care who heard. "I fell in love with someone who doesn't exist. I planned a future with someone who isn't real. Do you have any idea what that feels like, to realize that the most important relationship in your life was a lie?" Jordan had started crying, full-on sobbing in the parking lot. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I never meant to hurt you. I just wanted you to be happy, and I wanted to be the one making you happy. By lying to me every single day for 3 years? I was going to tell you. I've been trying to figure out how to tell you for months. I couldn't keep living like this, loving you as two different people. It was killing me. Oh, it was killing you. How tragic for you. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know I've destroyed everything. But I need you to know that my feelings were real, are real. I love you, not as Alex, but as me, as Jordan. I've loved you for years, and I've been too scared to say it. I'd felt something break inside my chest, because part of me had always wondered if Jordan felt the same way I did, if maybe there was something more than friendship between us. But I'd never let myself go there, because Jordan was my best friend, and I couldn't risk losing that. And now, I'd lost it anyway. I need you to take me home, I'd said, my voice dead and flat. Can we talk more, please? No, take me home, now. The drive back had been silent except for Jordan's occasional sniffling. When we'd pulled up to my apartment, I got out without a word. Wait, Jordan had called through the open door. Can I at least explain more? Can we... I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want anything from you except for you to leave me alone. For how long? I don't know. Maybe forever. I'd slammed the car door and walked into my building without looking back.
The first week was the worst. I'd blocked Jordan's number after the 100th text message, blocked all of Alex's accounts, deleted the apps we'd used to talk, removed every photo of Jordan from my apartment. But I couldn't delete 3 years of memories. Couldn't delete 8 years of friendship. Couldn't delete the fact that Jordan knew everything about me. My routines, my friends, my family, my job, my entire life. I'd called in sick to work, spent 3 days in bed, oscillating between crying and numbness. My other friends had texted asking if I was okay, asking why Jordan wasn't coming to our usual hangouts, but I couldn't explain. Couldn't put into words what had happened. On day 4, I'd forced myself to get up, to shower, to eat something besides takeout, to start processing what I was feeling. Betrayal, obviously, violation, anger, hurt, but also something else, something I didn't want to acknowledge. Part of me missed Alex, missed the morning texts and the voice notes and the feeling of being loved. And knowing that Alex was Jordan didn't erase those feelings. It made them more complicated, more confusing, but it didn't erase them. I'd loved Alex, and Alex was Jordan, which meant, no, I couldn't go there, wouldn't go there. Jordan had sent a letter. Actual physical letter, delivered to my apartment because I'd blocked all digital communication. I'd stared at it for 2 days before opening it. Inside was 15 pages of handwritten explanation, apology, confession. Jordan had detailed everything, how the fake account started, how the first conversations had been innocent, how feelings had developed on both sides, how the deception had grown beyond control. How many times Jordan had almost confessed, how the guilt had been eating away at them for years. The letter had ended with, I know I've destroyed any chance of you loving me as myself. I know I've lost my best friend and the person I was in love with. I know I deserve that, but I need you to know that everything I felt was real. Every conversation, every late-night call, every time I said I loved you, that was real. The only lie was the face. My feelings were never fake. I'm sorry. I love you. I understand if you never want to speak to me again. Jordan. I'd read that letter probably 50 times, looking for manipulation, looking for excuses, looking for some sign that Jordan understood the magnitude of the betrayal. And weirdly, I'd found it. Jordan did understand.
The letter was raw and honest in a way Jordan had never been with me in person. Vulnerable, broken, real. Which made it worse somehow, because if Jordan could be this honest on paper, why couldn't Jordan have been honest before? Why did it take 3 years of deception and my discovery of the truth to get this kind of vulnerability? I'd started seeing a therapist, told her the whole story. She'd listened without judgment, then asked, "What do you want?" "I want the last 3 years to have not happened." "That's not possible. So what do you want that is possible?" I thought about it for a long time. I want to understand why. I want Jordan to explain, really explain what was going through their head. I want to know if any of our friendship was real or if it was all part of the deception. Do you want Jordan in your life? I don't know. I keep thinking about all the times we hung out as friends. Were those moments real? Or was Jordan just gathering information to use as Alex? When we'd watch movies and eat ice cream and talk about nothing, was Jordan being my friend or was Jordan being a spy? Why don't you ask? So I had. I'd unblocked Jordan's number long enough to send one text. "Coffee, tomorrow, 2 p.m., public place. We talk. You answer everything honestly, and then I decide if I ever want to see you again." Jordan's response was immediate. "Yes, anywhere. Thank you." We'd met at a Starbucks across town. Neutral territory. Jordan looked terrible. Dark circles, weight loss, the kind of exhausted that comes from not sleeping for weeks. "Thank you for meeting me," Jordan had started. "Don't thank me. Just answer my questions." Anything. Was our friendship real? All those years before Alex, before any of this, was that real? Yes, completely real. You're my best friend. You've always been my best friend. That was never fake. When did you start having feelings for me? Junior year of high school. You dated that guy Marcus, and I realized I was jealous. Not just protective friend jealous, but actual jealous. But you were straight, or I thought you were, and I couldn't risk our friendship. I'm not straight. I know that now, but in high school, you only dated guys. I assumed. So you've been in love with me for what? 10 years? And never said anything? Yes. Why? Why not just tell me? Because what if you didn't feel the same way? What if telling you ruined everything? Our friendship was the most important thing in my life. I couldn't lose that. So instead, you created a fake person and made me fall in love with him. Jordan had flinched. When you say it like that, it sounds so much worse than it felt at the time. It is worse. You don't get to minimize this. I know. You're right. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing and explain. Explain how you justify this to yourself. Jordan had taken a long breath. At first, like I said, it was about protecting you, making sure you were safe online. But then you started opening up to Alex in ways you never opened up to me. You tell Alex things you'd never told Jordan, deep things, real things. And I got addicted to that intimacy, to knowing all of you, not just the parts you showed your friends. That's fucked up. I know. You used our friendship to manipulate me into a fake relationship. It wasn't fake to me, but it was fake to me. Your feelings don't matter if they're based on deception. We were getting loud. People were staring again. I'd lowered my voice. Did you ever feel guilty? I asked. Every day. Every time we hung out as friends and you'd talk about Alex. Every time you'd show me photos Alex sent you, photos I sent you. Every time you'd ask advice about your relationship and I'd have to pretend I was the other person in that relationship. It was torture. Good. I deserve that. You deserve worse than that.
It's been 6 months since I found out. 6 months of therapy. 6 months of processing. 6 months of trying to untangle my feelings for Alex from my feelings for Jordan, from my feelings about the entire situation. I'd spent the first month angry, righteously, justifiably furious at the betrayal and manipulation and 3 years of lies. The second month, I'd grieved, mourned the loss of both Alex and Jordan, mourned the friendship I thought I had and the relationship I thought I was in. The third month, I'd started getting curious, started really examining my feelings, started asking the hard questions. Did I miss Jordan? Yes. Did I miss Alex? Also yes. Were they the same person? Technically yes, but also no. Did I have feelings for Jordan? I'd never let myself think about it before, but looking back, maybe. Maybe there had always been something there that I'd ignored because Jordan was my best friend and I couldn't risk that. Did I have feelings for Alex? Obviously. I'd been in love with Alex. Could I reconcile those two things? That was the question I couldn't answer. We'd been meeting for coffee once a week, supervised, public, with clear boundaries. Jordan had been seeing a therapist too, had started unpacking why the deception had seemed like a reasonable choice, had been working on communication and honesty and understanding the impact of the betrayal. Our conversations had been stilted at first, careful, both of us afraid to say the wrong thing. But slowly, over weeks and months, we'd started actually talking. Jordan would share thoughts and feelings with the same vulnerability that had been in that letter. I would ask questions and demand honesty and call Jordan out when something felt like bullshit. We talked about high school, about all the moments I'd missed because I didn't know Jordan had feelings for me,
about Jordan's perspective on my past relationships, about the jealousy and longing and fear that had eventually led to creating Alex. We talked about the 3 years as Alex, about which conversations had been real and which had been performances, about how Jordan had managed the logistics of being 2 people in my life, about the guilt and the compartmentalization and the slow erosion of Jordan's sense of self. We talked about what happens now, what could happen, what we both wanted. And somewhere in those conversations, I realized something. The person I'd been in love with, Alex, had never actually existed, but the feelings I'd had were real. The connection was real. The intimacy was real. And all of that had been with Jordan. Jordan's personality, Jordan's thoughts and opinions and humor and vulnerability, just filtered through a fake face and name, which meant maybe I'd been in love with Jordan all along. I just hadn't known it. That realization had terrified me, because accepting it meant accepting that Jordan's deception had, in a twisted way, worked. That the relationship Jordan wanted had happened, just not in the way either of us expected. I think I need to tell you something I'd said at one of our coffee meetings, about 5 months in, and I need you to not freak out or read too much into it. Okay, Jordan had said carefully. I think I have feelings for you. Not for Alex, for you, for Jordan. I don't know how long I've had them, or if they're new, or if they were always there. But I'm realizing that a lot of what I loved about Alex was actually just you. Your sense of humor, your intelligence, the way you see the world. That was all you. Jordan had gone very still. What does that mean? I don't know yet. I'm not saying I forgive you. I'm not saying we should date. I'm not saying anything except that I'm acknowledging these feelings exist and I need to figure out what to do with them. Okay? But I need you to understand something. If we were ever going to try this, and that's a massive if, it would have to be completely different from what we had before. No secrets, no lies, total honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. I can do that. Can you? Because you spent years lying to me, years being whoever you thought I wanted instead of who you actually are. Can you really be honest? Do you even know who you are separate from these personas you've created? That question had made Jordan cry. I don't know. I've been Jordan, your best friend, and Alex, your boyfriend, for so long. I'm not sure who I am without those roles. But I want to find out. I want to figure out who I really am and show you that person. Not a performance, not what you think I want, just me. That's going to take time. I have time. I'll wait however long you need. We'd spent the last month exploring what honesty actually looked like. Jordan had started sharing things that were hard to say, insecurities, fears, moments of jealousy or pettiness or ugliness that the perfect personas would never have admitted. And weirdly, that vulnerability had made me trust Jordan more, because people who only show you the good parts are always hiding something. People who can admit to being messy and complicated and imperfect, those are people being real. I'd started sharing too, my anger about the betrayal, my confusion about my feelings, my fear that I was being manipulated again even now, my worry that I was betraying myself by even considering forgiving Jordan. We'd had our first real fight last week, about something stupid. Jordan made a joke that hit wrong, and I snapped that it felt manipulative, and Jordan got defensive, and we actually yelled at each other in public. And afterward, we talked it through, really talked, dissected what had happened, apologized for the parts we'd gotten wrong, committed to doing better. It had felt like progress, real, messy, complicated progress. I still don't know if I'll ever fully forgive Jordan. I don't know if we'll end up together, or if we'll rebuild our friendship, or if we'll eventually decide this is too damaged to salvage. But I know I'm not ready to walk away yet. I know that despite everything, despite the lies and betrayal and manipulation, there's still something there, something worth exploring, even if it's scary. My therapist asked me last week, if you could go back and prevent all of this from happening, would you? I thought about it for a long time. I don't know. Because if none of this happened, I'd never have examined my feelings for Jordan. I'd never have pushed past my own fears about ruining our friendship. We'd still be just friends, both silently in love with each other, neither of us brave enough to say it. So the catfishing was good? No, God, no. It was fucked up and wrong and harmful. But maybe something good can come from it anyway. Maybe we can take this horrible thing and build something honest from the rubble. And if Jordan betrays you again, then I walk away for good. No second chances after this. I told Jordan that, made it crystal clear. One more lie, one more manipulation, one more secret, and we're done. Forever. Jordan had accepted those terms. So now we're here, in this weird liminal space between friendship and something more, between forgiveness and holding accountable, between the past and whatever future we might build. I don't know how this ends. I don't know if we'll make it work or if we'll crash and burn. I don't know if loving someone who catfished you for 3 years as your online boyfriend is brave or stupid or both. But I know I'm choosing to try, choosing to believe that people can change, that honesty matters more than perfection, that love, real love, can survive even the worst betrayal if both people are willing to do the work. Would I forgive my best friend if they catfished me for 3 years as my online boyfriend? I'm trying to. Every single day, I'm trying. And maybe that's enough.